Now, eyebrows have been raised in royal circles and probably some sighs of relief as well after the publication of Prince Harry's autobiography seems to have been delayed. Was due for release this autumn, hasn't appeared on the publisher's list of upcoming books. Now, the contents of Harry's memoir, which is being ghostwritten by a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, have been firmly under wraps, with the Duke of Sussex believed to have only informed the Queen that he was working on it just before it was announced. Palace aides have feared that the book may open new family wounds, with particular concern that Camilla may be targeted. Now, I have a number of points on this. First of all, he does seem like he's the Dominic Cummings of the royal family. He's not a member anymore, but he's just paintballing from the side. And, you know, there is a part of me that thinks, shouldn't he be the bigger man? He talks about mental health. And yet these things are incredibly destructive of family structures. And you just think, why don't you just kind of just back off? You know, it's him airing his dirty linen in public, and that's it, and it's never helpful, and it really doesn't help repair rifts, and I can't see the point.
So that's the thing. I think there's a deal done. I think a deal has been done that he has agreed quietly that he won't publish it until after the Queen has passed away.
Now,
I think that's quite possible as a way of trying to heal the rift.
Yeah, and that could be possible. But a spokesperson for Transworld, which is part of Penguin Random House, has told The Sun on Sunday, they said, we don't put every book on the list, so there's nothing to be extrapolated from that. But you could be right. You could be right that perhaps after the Platinum Jubilee, perhaps rifts were healed, and he decided that he's put it on the back burner. I don't think that there's anything we can really take from the book not being on the list.
The main thing is the hypocrisy of I want privacy, and now I'm selling my soul to Netflix and selling my soul in a memoir. You don't get millions of pounds unless you do a good memoir.
They wanted privacy. This is the thing, is that lots of people will say that the words "we want privacy" never actually came.
They didn't want they didn't want media intrusion. What they wanted is they get to decide
control what we know.
Well, good luck with that as a celebrity or as a royal. But this is the thing. I wonder whether he's perhaps seen a bit of sense, and he's seen some of that publicity he's gotten, some of the front pages and the like over the royal coverage this year, and he's realised that actually he's doing a lot of damage to his image. And maybe he started listening to his advisors.
Well, I think also what he's realised after that trip to the Jubilee is that, you know, his connection to the royal family is his only strength. You know, being married to Meghan Markle, nobody cares about that, but Netflix want him for his connection to the royals, and he realises if he writes a book basically slagging them all off, and he's cut off from the royal family, he's also then cut off from his main source of income. And in terms of coming up with a book, even though it's being written by somebody else, I mean, he's only managed one podcast in 2 years. You know, I do about 6 a week, right? I think he could probably up his game in terms of productivity.
Hey, he did take paternity leave.
Of course he did, yeah. And, you know...
So, does it need a Pulitzer Prize-winning author to write your memoirs?
Well, I imagine when you take that much, you want it to be well-written.
Well,
yeah, I mean, it's not coming from him, is it? I mean, let's be honest.
Hold on a second. How many Pulitzer Prize-winning books do you want to read?
Yeah.
Really, I'm sorry, but I can't actually remember the last one I read. Oh, yeah, no, I can. But it was a long time ago.
We would all... Well, no, would we bother reading it? No, we'd read all the
serialisation in the Daily Mail.
And we'd look at the pictures, particularly the ones where he hadn't gone over the lines.
Yes, I mean, it is a pathetic state of affairs now because, you know, they were seen in Jackson Hole, Wyoming the other day, you know, just hanging out like ordinary people. But they weren't like ordinary people because they were being filmed as they were sitting there pretending to be like ordinary people.
And they'd flown there in a private jet.
And they didn't have anybody around them. They had no protection. You know, these are the people who say they couldn't come to Britain because they didn't have enough protection.
In the country that doesn't have everyone armed with a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
There's just a fear. I know that you like to defend them, and I'm very pleased that you do, but there's just so much hypocrisy, like Julia says. Everything that they do is staged. Everything.
I don't think everything they do is staged. When it comes to coming to the UK, so they've had... threats from right-wing extremist groups, threats on the lives of Meghan and Harry and their children.
That?
It's been publicised. It's well publicised.
Well, they say they have, right?
And it's been proven in court. People are on trial for it. So
well, you better not be talking about them then, because you'll screw the trial up. I don't think that's true.
It is true.
Right.
It's true. So they've had threats made against their lives, which is why they feel they can't come to the UK. And in terms of them being...
But then they came to the UK.
They did come.
But then they did come.
And they came with protection, right? But they don't feel they can come back too often because obviously that protection costs
I don't know why you bought all this stuff.
They have protection in the States. So the whole thing is about whether or not they have their own particular protection officers, you know, who are armed. That's the big issue. But when they were at the Jubilee, they were surrounded by armed protection.
But also also, I think, is what we all should also extrapolate is that, Pete, and I've said this before, is that it's the real obsession with them is very bizarre to me. Like, I'll never quite understand
We're not
why.
obsessed with them. They just keep being on our tellies.
Really?
They keep winding us up and disappointing us. Frankly,
yeah.
I mean, that's the reality.
So why are they winding you up and disappointing you so much?
Because
that's what I can't
Because
get
as
my
Julia
head
said
around.
earlier, you know, they left in order to avoid media intrusion, and then they spent the last couple of years
They left to control the
courting
narrative,
media
that's
intrusion.
But you can't control the narrative. That's the point.
They
We
can
said that the
try
other
to,
day.
but yes, they can. They can try to.
They
That's
try
what
to, but
wanted
this is the
do.
trouble. When you become celebrities rather than royals, you don't get to have as much say.